Yo, YouTube, how's it going? Jujubear here. Strap yourselves in. This was like, this was probably one of the most entertaining battles I've ever played on Rome Total War 2. I'm not going to say who wins. I'm just going to say that by the end of it, I was screaming at my monitor. It was just that fucking intense. There were about 2 or 3 different points in the battle where I was like, yep, fuck this, I'm out. And he was like, yep, fuck this, I'm out. But yeah, I don't know, we'll see what happens. So you can see by my army here. Oh yeah, I got paint tools, check this out. Woo! How good is that? That's a dick. That's what it looks like for me, I don't know about you guys. So I've brought with myself, I'm Egypt, I'm just hiding in the forest for now, and my opponent is Rome. Now, Moose Knuckles, the guy I was playing against, he said he was new, and I was like, yeah, cool, I'll take this opportunity to just play around with some weird builds. So that's why I brought, in my head I was going for a, you know, open brackets, a pure Egypt army, close brackets. And what that meant was I just brought like, you know, Egyptian slingers. Hold on, I'm just gonna fix my audio. Give me a sec, guys. Yeah, so I brought, you know, Egyptian slingers, Egyptian infantry, carrying axemen. I brought some camel spearmen. So, all very like visually pleasing units, you know. They just look really nice, and they seem to be quite unique to Egypt. I brought some of these leopard warriors, which that really doesn't happen that much at all. I brought some of these Ptolemaic Cavalry. Fuck, these guys are like my new favorite units in the game. Oh man, after this game, this match here, I spent the next 2 or 3 matches just playing with some Ptolemaic Cavalry. They're just fucking the best. I'm so into them. And then I've got 2 of these skirmisher cav hiding in the woods. Hiding in the woods. So 340 talents seems like a pretty good good amount of dinero to drop on those guys. He did see that, and he's brought his Syrian archers over to cover me. So I'm just hiding. I'm waiting for him to divert his attention elsewhere. So immediately he kind of just goes into defensive testudo with a few of his units, because I am firing on them with my Egyptian slingers. I know that I'm going to have plenty of ammo, so I don't mind, you know, trading and wasting shots on this Hastati. So he comes out of defensive testudo. I haven't really got any kills on these Syrian archers. I'm not really expecting to until a couple of volleys. Still haven't. Okay, so he's pushing up with his Hastati. Let me just show you what my thinking was with this army. So I've got 4 Egyptian infantry up front. They got precursors, so I was hoping to absorb some javelins from my enemies and some charges frontally. And then I'm going to get these high attack. Well, I say high attack, but they're not even that high attack. Oh, well, I was going to get these carrying axemen following up after they throw a couple of javelins, because they have like a lot of precursors, I think. I think it's like a couple of javelins that they can throw. So, and then I've got 2 in reserve, and I'm going to hopefully run some hammer and anvil charges with my Ptolemaic Cavalry. On the flanks, I was going to hold up with these leopard warriors. I saw that he's got some vigiles, which is, you know, it's always good to see in a Roman army if you're facing up against them, because these guys are useless. Craptacular, as they would say. And then I've got the camel spearmen, who are hopefully going to get in and destroy some of his skirmishers. He has war dogs, which is super interesting. I haven't really seen war dogs used properly in any Rome matches. I'd like to actually try and get in and make it work somehow. So we are facing off. He's going to throw some precursors and stream in against my my Egyptian infantry. There they go, crashing in. Good charges, pretty solid all across the line. I did meet his vigiles with my leopard warriors, so they're duking it out a little bit. I tried to get around with my camel spearmen, but it wasn't really happening. I brought my skirmisher cab out of the woods. And all the while, my carrying axemen are just unloading their javelins into the backs of my own units, yes, but also into these carrying axemen. So my leopard warriors, I don't think I got a frenzied charge off. But yeah, they're going to get into those vigiles and tear them apart. So I got this skirmisher cav, and they're just going to be firing into the backs of these units. I think he sent a Principe into this leopard warrior, and I saw that happening, so I I popped square just to make them, you know, hold on into the fight for a little bit longer. He is firing on my units with his Syrian archers. I get caught again on the edge of this Vigile, and my middle is starting to crumble, but that's okay. I was expecting that, so I'm going to send in my carrying axemen at this point. The Hastati are active. I thought they would have been a little bit more worn out, but my units are fresh, so they're going to be coming into these engagements in a good place. The Hastati are down, you know, almost 40, 50 men in some places, so it's good for me. He's sending some Triari my way. I got a rear charge onto this Vigile and broke it, and he's going to send his general and bodyguard into my skirmish cav. The fucking skirmish function is still broken. Like, look at that. He caught so many of my units. I keep on complaining about it, but it just keeps happening. So yeah, so the last of my Egyptian infantry are crumbling. And that's okay. He has got some... Oh no, he hasn't. So he's sent in most of his Principes. His Hastati are still holding up pretty well. He's sent his Principes onto the flanks, it looks like, and they're facing up against my Leopard Warriors. My Camel Spearmen are getting into his auxiliary Syrian archers, which is exactly what I need them to do. All the while, my Egyptian slingers, I think, are firing into this little blob here. He does release his dogs, actually. I didn't realize this. But they're going to get into my Camel Spearmen, and I don't know what kind of damage they're going to do to them. Not really sure there. And his handlers come in as well. He pops, what is that? Raised Banner. I do have a couple of units in reserve. My Ptolemaic Cav I've been holding on to for late game. This Camel Spearman is going to come and do a rear charge into the backs of these units. It's a bit of an awkward one though. It's not going to break too many of them because my Camel Spearman is a light melee cavalry. They haven't got a great, well, they got 25 charge bonus, but nothing special. So these Vigilias on the flanks are starting to crumble. His Principes are, oh sorry, his Syrian archers are being chased off by my carrying axemen. That's a good engagement there. Just making sure that they're not firing on my own men. I got lots of Egyptian infantry that kind of bailed on me with 46, 47 men, 55 there. So they've all come back, which is good, and I can throw them back into the fight. My skirmisher cav are getting some really nice rear shots into these Triari and Principes. Look at these Leopard Warriors, man. MVPs. They are light spear infantry, they're super tired, but you pop them into square and they are like, they hold on for so long. They're not really getting too many kills, but it just enables me to do this kind of thing, like shooting into the back of the enemies. These guys as well, doing really well, 94 men left. So I did get a rear charge on, that was a really odd charge I think, with this Ptolemaic Cav into the back of those Triari. We did get some kills. So I'm going to start blobbing my leftover Egyptian infantry into these fights. I've got a couple of units left. At this point... Oh no. No, we were still duking it out at this point. We were kind of... It was a little bit up in air. He did chase off one of my skirmisher cav with his general's bodyguard. I think I'm out of ammo, which is why I can't pull him apart. If I get into a melee engagement over there, I would probably lose it. Ptolemaic Cav coming in for a rear charge onto these Triari. How many kills? 16 kills. Going to be rising quite quickly. These Triari are doing quite well though. They're in defensive testudo. I don't really know what that does for their stats. 23 kills and rising. Leopard Warriors still holding on very well. They are getting destroyed though. What is going on? Oh, it looks like he disengaged and he's throwing his javelins at point blank range into my Leopard Warriors. That is brutal. So they are breaking. I don't know if he meant that on purpose, but that's a great idea. And I come in for a rear charge with my Camel Spearmen. Not going to do heaps of damage, but just holds them up out of this fight for a little bit longer. I got my carrying axemen who chased off these Syrian archers. Don't know what happened to them. I think they must have died or something. He does have some Principes left, and they're going to destroy my carrying axemen. My slinger's doing very well. 28 kills there, 80 kills there. Looks like they're firing into these Principes here. He did manage to get through my Leopard Warrior on this flank. So he's got Triari. He's got Principes. So I think it was at this point where I was like, oh man, GG. it's pretty much over. And he was like, nah. But actually, there was a point before where I was like, oh man, he was like, yeah, GG man. And I was like, yeah, cool. But I saw you had a Principe over here. I don't know, for whatever reason. And he ended up coming back with that unit. So I do have, how many do I have? I have one carrying axeman. It's probably going to come back. I've got 2 Egyptian slingers. I got my Ptolemaic Cav, a camel spearman that's dying very quickly, a carrying axeman with 83 men left, and the skirmisher Cav over there, which is being destroyed by his general bodyguard. So they're kind of clumped together here in this engagement. I'm just firing into the blob with my slingers, getting some good kills. At this point, I activate my Ptolemaic Cav, and I was like, man, I got to get some kills. Quick, smart. It's not looking good for me at all. I've got some really crappy infantry. I've got some 2, really weak slingers, and I've got this Ptolemaic Cav, which is super strong, but it's not really. Oh wow, they were facing the wrong way. And they were brace. So my carrying axemen, battle rhythm, getting some good kills on this Principes because they weren't facing the correct direction. I'm going to try and get this carrying axeman into this blob here so I can do some rear shots with my Egyptian slingers. He is going to get into the rear of this axeman with this Principe and probably do a fair bit of damage. I run another hammer and anvil strike with my Ptolemaic Cav. Managed to pull down some of it. It's up to 110 kills and rising very quickly. So a good amount of kills coming through on that Ptolemaic Cav. I don't know why this slinger is starting to rout. Probably due to casualties sustained. Yeah, that'll be right. My carrying axeman is going to get destroyed by that Principe. So he's still got lots of infantry. Like the spam is real, dude. Principe, Triari, Principe, and his general and bodyguard. So that slinger did rout. Don't really know why. That one did and this one didn't. So firing point blank into this Principe, I'm going to have to run away. There's nothing I can do. And with this Ptolemaic Cav, every time he turns his back, I'm going to come and just pile into him. So I got a fair number of kills there. 130 and rising. Getting there. This carrying axemen's fought pretty valiantly. 114 kills. Like, they're not even that good. These carrying axemen are not very good, like, at all. And they managed to get, like, a fair number of kills. I was quite impressed by how they held up, really. Even though Moose Knuckles said that he was a new player, he did really well. Like, he was actually, like, quite a good at micro. I was pretty impressed. So I hit this Principe head on. He was charging me, so he was not braced. So that unit's pretty much going to get destroyed by any charges that I put on it next time. Though I see this general bodyguard, he's still got some mobility left on the field in this general and bodyguard. So I'm going to have to bring my Ptolemaic Cav over here and silence him because he's getting into my Egyptian slingers. They've got 117 men left, so I don't want to lose that unit. Otherwise it's GG. Like, look at this. I've got one slinger and one Cav. That's like, it's still fresh because I've got the strategist general's ability. But, like, how is this going to happen? You got so much Roman units and my Egyptian slingers like starting to rout. So anyway, let's go. Insert. So I get a charge onto his general and bodyguard. Woo! Getting some good kills there. We managed to run headlong into this Principe as well. Get some kills there as well. The general bodyguard is routing. They're exhausted, they're losing decisively, and they're broken. And they're shattered. So I get out with my Ptolemaic Cav with 38 men left. Half strength, double XP chevrons. They're up to 200 kills, just over 200. At this point, I'm able to get some shots off with my Egyptian slingers, which is excellent. They've got, I think at this point, they still had a fair bit of ammo left. So I'm just going to try and make sure that, I can at least break some of these units. My main worry at this point is the Triari. Like, they're very heavy, so any charges that I put into them. Ooh, let's just get that charge. Whoa, absolutely flatten that Principe there. Very good charge. They're from 40 men down to 36, 35, and dropping. They're wavering, attacked in the rear, tired, and they shatter. So I managed to get rid of one Principe there. He's chasing after a couple of my units, my slinger with a couple of these units. But he keeps on doing this kind of thing. Like, you know, he'll chase it, which is good. But then he'll turn around and show his back to me. So I was able to get some very important shots in here. Managed to break one of these Principes. Battle rhythms gone off. Expired on my general. So I did manage to break one of these Principes, which is excellent. I don't want to like waste any ammo, so I stopped firing immediately. So we're down to 3 men. I don't know, before we had like 5 men before, and I was like, oh, this is... Sorry, 5 Roman infantry, and so I'm getting so excited. This is like, fuck. There was 5 of them, and I managed to whittle them down to 3, and at this point I was like, no, like, it could happen. Could it happen? I didn't want to get my hopes up, but apparently I'm in melee combat, and it's even with this Ptolemaic Cav. Don't know how that works. Wow. Whoa! I didn't notice that. There was a Roman unit just like hanging out here. Getting some kills. What a dick. Anyway, so he goes into defensive test studio. I managed to get some really good shots into the Principe. He's broken, he's exhausted, and he's routing. So I was like, awesome. That is amazing. And I get a charge into this Principe with my Ptolemaic Cav. Even though they were braced, it doesn't matter, man. These Ptolemaic Cav are absolute beasts. Look at the blood. Struggle streak. Look at these guys. Yeah, so this Principe starts to waver. I get some very important shots with my slinger just to make sure he gets off the field. Don't know what this guy's doing. He's just hanging around. So running away with my Ptolemaic Cav. They're down to 22 men, though they've got 267 kills at this point. So we're down to our most difficult target, which is this Triari. They are exhausted, which is good for me. My general is fresh because I've got that general's ability, the strategist. Oh man, it's so tense. At this point, I was like, no, and I was yelling at the screen, and oh man, all sorts of anxiety. So this is what gives you heart attacks. You know, palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. I hope you guys appreciate the 8 Mile quotes. So getting some good rear shots in here on his Triari. Even though they are in defensive test studio, they probably won't hold up that well. So I get a good... Oh, he comes out of defensive test studio. And I get a pretty good charge with my Ptolemaic Cav, knocking down some of them. 84 men. They are going to be dropping quite quickly, so whenever I do a charge, I'm just going to get straight out of there. I don't want to hang around too long. And it's at this point that these other Principes come back into the fight. So they just come from routing and they're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we're Roman infantry. That's right, we're broken, so we're just going to come back into the game. Look at these idiots. Just go home. There's nothing here for you. So I was like, you know, fuck my life. This game's over. He just won. So this was another point in the match where I was like, nah, okay, he's got it. He's got it. So his Principe is coming back into the fight. I'm going to run away with my Egyptian slingers. I want to try and conserve my ammo, get some shots where it counts, and at the moment, this is where it counts. I just want to make sure I get these Triari off the field. So, I decided I had to bring my Ptolemaic Cav. They got 290 kills at this point, double XP chevrons, down to 17 men. I'm going to have to deal with these Principes at some point, so... I bring my Ptolemaic Cav over. I think he sees that and he's going to try and get his forces together, but it's too late. These guys are going to cop a massive charge from my Ptolemaic Cav, get absolutely flattened. Boom! Sit down. So, they're dropping like flies at the moment. Whoa, look at these guys. Can you understand why they're like my favorite unit in this game at the moment? 322 kills. We managed to finish off that Principe, and run away from this Triari before he gets into combat with me. He did catch 3 or 4 of my units there, but I think I managed to get away with most of them. They are active, 14 men, so he lost 3 men on that charge there. 330 kills on my Ptolemaic Cav there. I think I've got a little bit of ammo, do I? Nope, they've got their daggers out, so I ran out of ammo. At this point, I'm just going to sacrifice these Egyptian slingers. and get a frontal charge. So, you know, it's not going to end well for the slingers. It's kind of like a diversion. And he took the diversion, which is good. I put my men into wedge. Yeah, I did. Diamond formation. Just because they're in such tight formation, these are Triari. And I get a rear charge. So pretty much sit all of those Triari down. My slingers are starting to rout. At this point I was like, come on. It's so close. Who's going to rout first? 14 men left on these Ptolemaic Cav. The Triari are wavering. 26 men left. They're not really dropping very fast. They're exhausted. They're in combat. It's even. My slingers are about to drop out of the fight. I have to pull out with my Ptolemaic Cav. They're going to take too many deaths out of that situation. So we got one Ptolemaic Cav left there. My slingers routed, and I was like, fuck. I have to get back in there before they reform. So my Ptolemaic Cav comes in for another charge. And it was actually... my charge was... it was... My slingers were in the way, so my charge was kind of pointless in that situation. I lost too many men, so I lost 3 men. I've only got 9 left, which is fucked. They're up to 3 triple XP chevrons, 362 kills. He forms up into Triari. He should have gone into square, really. I go into diamond formation, so I've got the last amigos going one last charge. Boom, into these Triari. This is like the weakest finish to a game you can imagine. Like, it wasn't even that hard. So he's starting to waver. Finally, he's got 8 men left, and he broke. So, oh man. I wouldn't even call that a victory. Like, it was, like... I would call that a draw. Come on. Costly victory, my ass, man. That was so close. Oh, Moose Knuckles. Shout out to Moose Knuckles. Amazing match. Awesome dude. At the end of it, we were just like sitting back. Wow. Couldn't believe how that went. How close that was. 373 kills on this Ptolemaic Cav General. Triple XP chevrons. Come on. This is why I love this game. Like, this is like a total war moment. Double XP chevron on that Principe over there. His war dogs did really well, actually. I don't know what they were killing. Probably my camel spearmen, but they got 188 kills. It seems like they were well worth their time. My carrion axemen doing really well as well. 54, 74, 60. I don't know. I think it's like 400 talons these guys cost. And I think most of these kills were probably from precursors, but they got a fair number of kills. Really impressed by the carrion axemen and these leopard warriors. Holy shit. If it went for the Ptolemaic Cav, I would have called these guys, you know, MVPs of the match for sure. So 100 kills there, 115 there. They managed to hold up a lot of units, including these Vigiles and a couple of Principes on each. The Camel Spearmen, even though they're very light, they got a lot of kills on those Syrian archers. And my Skirmisher Cav, they are quite cheap, 340, but I don't know if they really paid for themselves. And these Egyptian infantry, just throwaways. I wasn't really worried about them getting too many kills anyway. So thank you, Moose Knuckles, for the match. If you guys want to add me, my name's Ju. Add me on Steam. We'll play some games. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time on another episode of Total War Tuesdays. See you, bros. Bye.